What's up, everybody? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. I'm gonna do something that I never do. You guys are gonna hear my wife in the background talking. I'm gonna ask for some love. Today's my birthday. I wasn't planning on going live today, but I ended up having some free time, so I'm gonna request that you guys smash the like button, just for fun. See how many likes we can get for my birthday. With all that said, we're gonna recap really quickly. Today, where's the open here? So this is pretty beautiful. We had said yesterday, if we pull back in SPY to the single prints area, ultimately you would really like to see the mid, but we got a nice pullback right at the open into the single prints. You take long or calls, and our first trim, 544.16, was tapped really nicely. Pretty quick in and out. 1 point move. Here, I probably didn't cover this, and I should have. I was so focused on looking for excuse me. Woo. Thank you, guys. I was so focused on the break below this level, get 3 5-minute candles to close below, retest, take puts, that I didn't mention that it's super bullish if you go below and then quickly come back inside. Like for me, this is an easy call when you see this. Or the inverse, I don't really have an example, but let's just say this candle here. If we wick through like this second target level and then quickly fall back inside, easy puts. So anyway, if you did happen to take this, this is, the bottom of our single print range. You got a really nice move up. I'm not anticipating that people might have got this because I don't think I covered how to trade this. But if you did, nice. But hopefully people caught this one. This is very clean, very easy, perfect setup for what we were looking for. Just a few cents short of our mid area, but still all good. Hopefully I said I don't think I mentioned, but I'm not doing any requests today. I actually was going to do this stream without my face cam on because I'm not feeling very well. I don't know what happened. My wife had a doctor's appointment this morning for the baby. Nothing crazy, just a routine doctor's appointment. And after, when we went there, both me and my wife were like, hey, super tired, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so we came home and took a nap. And when I woke up, I was so dizzy that I stumbled and almost fell over. And that might seem a little scary for people, but it's actually kind of normal for me to feel dizzy, just not this extremely dizzy. And generally when this happens, it's because my B12 is low. So I immediately took a bunch of B12. Yeah, I'll be all right, William. Just, is what it is. But so with all of that said, being my birthday and being that I'm not feeling too hot, I'm just going to go over the setups that I found. Because I'm going to be cutting out pretty soon here to go and have dinner. Yeah, I'll be good, almighty. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. But, I had mentioned yesterday I wasn't going to do a video. And like I said, I had a little bit of spare time and wanted to show you guys some love. This is a bummer to me here. Let me go to a higher time frame. So, on Nvidia, I got a lot of DMs from people like, oh, made a killing on Nvidia, whatever. That's awesome. You could have easily used the first trim level as an entry for calls, but we didn't quite hit our target that I gave for entries, like either a bounce here or crossing through this level. So on my sheet, I have it marked as invalid, as in there was no trade set up. If people made money, awesome, but I'm not going to take credit for it based on the levels that I gave. It did hit most of our levels, and hopefully tomorrow It was a swing trade, so hopefully tomorrow it does hit our close call level. The other one, Netflix, kind of a bummer on this one. I have this marked as still active based on what I look at as far as where I would put my stop loss. I don't normally like share these with you guys, but this was the open today. And at the open, we just sliced through. We didn't cross back above, so we did not get an entry here. If we did, it would have hit my stop loss. We did, what time? 12:20 Eastern time. We did trigger and then kind of came back down and chopped around a bit. And then at the end of the day, we also came back above the trigger. So if people took this as a swing trade, it's still in play. As you can see here, my stop loss would be at 664.51, something I don't generally share with people. But the reason I don't share stop losses and I don't give like contracts that I'm looking at, I don't really give expirations, is because I don't want there ever to be a scenario where, you know, the SEC comes at me and it says that I'm trying to manipulate the market. And realistically, like, the only benefit there would be for me to manipulate the market is if I'm taking the trades myself. And, you know, if I was giving you guys levels, like, let's say I gave like 165 as the place to close your calls, but I closed mine at 164.50 or whatever, you know, that would be the only scenario where it would be in my benefit to try to manipulate the market, is to get people all in one direction so I can take the trade and get out before them, you know. But I'm not even taking these trades. I just trade futures. And so with that said, like, I don't really want to give like specific stop losses or whatever, and for there to be any kind of like consideration that I'm trying to manipulate something in the market, which I am absolutely not. Almighty Beard Man, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If my price target hits in after hours, what do you mean by price target? Just go ahead and reply to that, Almighty Beardman, and I'll get to your question. I don't really know what you mean by if my price target hits in after hours. Are you saying like my entry? If my entry gets hit in after hours, would I expect it to come back and hit it again? I mean, sure. It's with giving setups like this, there's a fine balance between, like, a lot of times, like, I would like my entry to be lower, but I have to give an entry where there's a chance, you know, like, there's more of a chance that it's not going to get hit pre-market. Let's see, SPY. Oh, you're talking about this here? If you're talking about this candle here, this is what this area was based on. Hopefully that makes sense. So these single prints, this range here, is based on this candle here. I don't see where it hit pre-market. Yeah. Yeah, let me know like what prices you're talking about so I can figure out what candles or whatever, and we'll get back to it. But yeah, I mean, the levels are good. If you go back and you look at like trades that I've given, a lot of times price will either reject or bounce off of those levels that I gave even after the fact. Actually, when I was looking over trades today, I noticed price literally bounced right on a level that I drew at the beginning of 2023. So, yes, the levels are still good after they've been touched. Hopefully that answers your question because I'm not exactly 100% sure about what you're asking. So, for right now, Netflix is still in play. This was a swing trade where we were looking for 4 days out minimum. So, till Friday, I guess. Yeah. Um, is that right? Today's Tuesday. That's one, two. Yeah. Yeah, Friday. Um, so, anyway, hopefully overnight this gaps up and we start tapping some of our levels to close this. Um, the next trade that I'm going to be looking at, this is something I really never do. I'm not like a calls above this level, puts below this level kind of person. But with this setup that we have on AVGO, it's kind of a no-brainer. So we're ranging here. So they're either accumulating or distributing. I can't English. I'm pretty sure price is going to the upside. So over 1600, take calls. First trim 1607 and 50 cents. Second trim 1650 and 60 cents. Third trim 1622 and 70 cents. Fourth trim 1635, and then close at 1645. To the downside, my first trim level is at this gap fill. So below 1564, take puts, close, or your first trim 1506. I think for most people, this will be enough that you're just going to probably close if that move happens. Second trim 1476 and 40 cents. Third trim would be another gap fill to 1465 and a penny. Fourth trim 1450, and then close at 1425. And all of these levels are doable, just so that you know. This also will be swing trade. Either direction, you want Friday's expiration. Next one is going to be coin. And for coin, we're looking for puts below 2100. I'm sorry, 221. First trim will be 219 and 25 cents. Second trim 214 and 97 cents, and we'll close at 213.37. The next trade that I'm looking at is HD Home Depot. Below 37.60, we'll take puts. First trim 34.65. Second trim 333. Third trim 331.06, and then close your puts at 328.75. Slightly smaller trade here, Oracle. Looking for calls on this one. These contracts should be cheaper for people with smaller bankrolls, but calls over 139.55. First trim 140 and 40 cents. Second trim 141.23, and then close at 142 and 40 cents. This will also be a swing trade 3 days out. Actually, I'll just say Coin, HD, Oracle, all swing trades 3 days out. I don't know if I mentioned that for all of them. And then our final one that we're looking, or that I'm looking at, is Target. This will also be a swing trade 3 days out. Or sorry, this is a day trade, but I want you to take contracts a minimum of 3 days out. That way you don't get destroyed by theta. So over 147 and 10 cents, we'll take calls. First trim 149, close at 150 and 40 cents. And then let's see, I have a DM. I want to check it. Oh, okay, that's Almighty Beer Man. Let's see. Let me just bring this on the screen so we can all see it together. Sorry. This is what I was talking about. It hit the previous day value area high right below the bounce zone and went straight to the price target. This happened in after hours, but repeated during open hours. I was wondering, since it made the play in after hours, would it be good to assume the move is already made and won't repeat normally? No, not at all. Sorry, I'm trying to see. So here we bounced. 542.37. So actually, for me, I'm always looking for retests. So here it bounced. We came back, retested, and then boom. And technically another retest here, and then boom, right? And so then this, the more times a level gets tapped, the weaker and weaker it's going to get. You could think about it like hitting a door with a battle ram. Like the first time you hit it, it might not break open. The second time, it's going to be a little bit weaker. Third time, definitely weaker. Fourth time, you're probably going to break through it, right? So the more a level gets tapped, the more sketched I get about it. But I wish there was a way for me to draw on this. But for me, these levels match up. This is like a double bottom. This is a pretty clear long. This is your retest of that. For me. So yeah, I wouldn't assume that the move is done and that it won't repeat. I actually would be more likely to trade it. So yeah, no problem. I'm always like, the way that I give you guys plays are momentum based, where price is already moving in the direction that we're taking the trade. Me personally, I'm a reversal trader, so I trade tops and bottoms. It's a little bit harder to pull off. It takes definitely more skill and more what's it called? Can't think. It takes more studying. So like today on NQ, I took one trade. This is not going to look like much, but it's exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. So on NQ, I was very patient today. As I've been mentioning in the last few videos, and again, I share this for transparency and so that you guys can hopefully relate to me. That's awesome, Prickly Professor. Thank you. So the last week, give or take, I've been struggling with confidence in trading. And I've been doing okay green, but it's been a struggle every day to get green, which is not normal for me. And so anyway, today we opened pretty choppy on NQ. Like, not much of anything happening. I noticed this bounce here, but I noticed it too late. And I kind of almost FOMO'd and, like, took calls or went long. I decided against it. If I did, I would have made good money. But I'm not disappointed that I restrained myself. What's up, Stocks for Real? I'm not disappointed with myself for being disciplined and not YOLOing in after I noticed this level after the fact kind of thing. And so then I just felt like I was just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I had mentioned, for anybody that watched my stream last night, I said below 1984.75 I was bearish, right? And this was another trade that I missed. So I missed this here. And then when we sliced up above 19.845 and 75 cents, again, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, where you peek through a level and then immediately lose it. That's like an instant puts, instant shorts. Inverse for long, you peek below a level and immediately come back inside. Instant call, instant long, depending on what you're trading. And so I noticed this again, like, I don't know what happened. I think I was looking at something else. And by the time I look back, I was like, whoa. Because I was actually watching for this to happen. I was watching for a tap of this level to get in short. And if I had seen the quick slice through and lose, or peak above and lose, I would have gone short like without blinking an eye. But like I said, my eyes were somewhere else when it happened. And by the time I look back, had already started moving down. And I was like, crap, I missed another trade. And so then I'm just waiting. And that's very unusual for me. Like, I'm normally within the first, 5-15 minutes, I'm done for the day. And so finally, after the first hour of the market being open, the initial balance got set and price went up and peaked above our initial balance high and then quickly fell back inside. And I went short. I don't remember the exact level that I got in at, but I think it was 94 and some change. And if you know NQ, 94 and some change, and then the low is 53, that's a 40-point move. I didn't catch the whole 40 points, but let's just pretend for shits and giggles here. Every 25-cent move on NQ is $5. You multiply that by 4, that gives you $20 for every $1 move. Multiply that by 40, and that's one contract for 40 points on NQ. I just caught 10 points because, again, my confidence, I just wanted to book a win. It's my birthday. Like, I really wasn't looking to take an L today. So here's my trade log. You can see I'm green. This is a real account. I don't have any way of really proving that, but it doesn't really matter to me. I don't do these videos to try to sell anybody anything. So if you guys don't believe me, like, that's on you. Nice stocks. That's awesome. So this is today. You can see I just took the one trade for $215. And you can see it here. And then, I beat myself up on my journal a little bit. So took peak above IBH and fell short. With patience, I could have easily got 20 plus points, but my confidence needed this win. So this is me being real, like, and revealed and raw. I love Tradezilla. It's dope. They sent me a pretty cool email today. Let me see, like, the best way that I can pull this up on my screen. I haven't really had a chance to, what's it called? I haven't had a chance to devour this information that they sent me. So I joined yesterday, I believe. I joined on Monday. Thank you, Joseph. And I think this is cool. Like, I wanted to know if you're able to answer these 3 questions. How many times are you losing money on trade because of the same mistake? This is something that you'll recognize through journaling, which I talked about yesterday, right? And so they recognize that journaling is important. Which setup do you typically perform the best with? A lot of people can't answer either of these questions. Which trading habits do you need to work on in order to stop your red days and maximize your green days? And then it says the average trader actually has no answer to any of these questions. And then their goal today is to make sure that you know the answers to those questions using your data, understand your strengths and weaknesses as a trader, and work towards achieving profitable consistency. No more trading blindly. And then they give us a video to watch and start using tags in Tradezilla, where you can keep track of the tags and see how the progress of the tags in your reports. I haven't gone through this yet, but I'm actually really excited to watch this video and see how I can tag things, and further improve my profitability through recognizing mistakes and recognizing setups that aren't benefiting me as a trader. So I am really, really digging TradeZilla right now. Journaling is super important. I talked about that yesterday, and something you got to do. Thanks, Mike G. I don't know if you're in the YouTube, but I got your message. Oh, and then somebody sent me a friend request, I think. Yeah. All right. So, unless anybody has any questions, um, the cost, it depends on, they have two different price options. One gives you more features, and I found a coupon code online for like 20% off, and it cost me just over $300 for a year. So I just bought the year subscription for their highest, the one with the most features. They have a cheaper one. I think it was $29 a month. I don't know what it was annually, and then the price that I went with was like $50 a month, or with the coupon it was like $300 for the year. So like I said, I just paid for the full year. Anybody that did watch our video on NQ, this was the level that we needed to hold to stay, or I don't want to say bullish, because below 1984 and 75 cents, we were bearish. But if we lost this, we were going way lower. So this bounce here, 1 o'clock in the morning, so that's 4 o'clock Eastern. If anybody caught this was killer. And then it went right up to our 2-day value area low, which is where I would be closing. We got a little pullback and then bounced. And then above the 2-day value area low is all bullish. At least as far as what I covered on my video. Getting over this level, your first trim would be the previous day POC. My ultimate price target was previous day value area high, which we happened to hit in after hours. So, but yeah, this pullback right here, and it's the same thing that we've been just talking about, like peak below a level and then reclaim it, instant calls, instant long, would have worked out great. Joseph R., that's a really good question. So, I feel like your question requires like a really, really long answer. And I don't mind answering it. It's not going to be short, is basically what I'm saying. So first, like, you need to be confident in the charts, right? You need to be confident in finding levels on charts. And to do that requires studying. And so I feel like for myself, I studied a ton, right? And I'll never forget this conversation. My mentor told me, like, your charting is amazing, but you don't trust your own charting. He's like, I would trade off of your charts. Your levels are on point, like entries, exits, blah, 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 blah. But you don't trust them. So, like, your level will get hit, you won't take the trade, but then you'll YOLO into some random trade that doesn't work out. Whereas if you just followed your plan, you would have made, really good money. And so one of the things that he had me start doing was, we'll just use like SPY as an example. Yesterday we established levels for calls and levels for puts, right? And what he said is, the day before, look at your chart, figure out your short levels, figure out your long levels, and only trade those. if you don't see one of those setups play out, then don't take a trade. And I will say it was really hard to have that discipline of just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for a specific setup to happen. And there was days where I didn't take trades because the setups didn't happen. But that's when I started to gain more confidence in my charting, because when the moves did happen, they generally went in my favor through proper planning and finding levels the day before. Because probably a lot of people can relate to this. When the stock market's closed, you look at the chart and you're like, God, that was such an easy call. But I missed it when the market was open and candles were moving. And then when the market's closed, it's so easy to see those moves, not because they've already happened, but it's like, oh, duh, that was such an obvious place for it to bounce, or duh, that was such an obvious place for it to reject. And so looking at the charts when the candles aren't moving, and you have fresh eyes, and like looking for your levels, calls and shorts and puts, whatever, is really helpful for the next day when the candlesticks are moving. With that said, so that was one component to me becoming more confident in my trades. I talked about this yesterday, but I'll talk about this every day if somebody asks me. The real turning point in my trading, it was actually like threefold. So I used to only trade options, and I used to love trading options, but I hated the theta decay. And so when I switched to futures and there's no theta decay, and I can literally put, take calls at this price. If it hits this level, close. If it hits this level, stop loss, So you can literally put your entry, your stop loss, your take profit, and you can do all of that before you even get into a trade. So you can put all of your levels, like stop loss here, entry here, take profit here, and you could walk away from your computer or whatever it is you trade on. And if the play hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But with theta decay, you can't really do that because your levels are constantly moving. So it's a lot more difficult to trade based on levels with options than it is with futures. The second thing that made a huge difference for me was journaling my trades, which I've already just talked about. I showed Tradezilla. When you journal, you want to journal every single trade that you take, and you want to be like, you want to do this kind of when you're done trading for the day, and you want to sit down and you want to focus and be like, what did I do correctly? And you want to journal what you did correctly so that you can keep doing those things with every single trade. What you did wrong, so that you can try to cancel those out of your trades, and what you could have done better so that you can start integrating better habits into your trading system. So journaling is very important. And then the third thing, and a lot of people, like my mentor told me to start journaling, and I was like, what a joke. Like, I'm not going to journal my trades. Like, that's for girls. Like, and I'm not, I'm not insulting women, but women are more likely to have like a journal where, like they write down every night, like stuff about their day. Not something that I'm into. And it's not a bad thing either. But, with all of that said, like, he told me 6 months prior, like, to start journaling, and I blew it off. And then, I kept struggling and struggling and struggling. And when I finally listened to him and started journaling, like, it really made a huge difference, like almost immediately in my trading. And then the last component, and this was the same conversation my mentor told me like a year prior, like, you need to focus on one trade a day and do it for 6 months solid. And I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. Because there's so many days where I'll take one trade and it'll lose, and then my next trade I'll make back that money that I lost and more. But then the issue was I was having like the boom and doom trading thing where I would get like win, and then there might be a day where I take a couple losses and I fight back and I get back to green. And then there's a day where whatever profit I had made over the last couple of weeks or whatever, I would lose it all in one day. Just gone. So boom and doom is what that's called. And it wasn't until I listened to my mentor finally, like a year after the fact, and started doing one trade a day for 6 months solid, that I really started to become a profitable trader. And that one trade a day, it teaches you, what I was talking about today. I missed my first trade, and then I missed my second trade here. I feel like I missed the fourth trade here. Anyway, and then I finally, like the fourth setup that I saw, I finally took it. But I had to sit there and just be patient, 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 patient. And I was waiting for, that A++ setup where I was confident, I have like a 80 to 90% chance that it's going to work out in my favor. And so that's what that one trade a day for 6 months teaches you, is the patience to wait for those really good setups. And obviously, the better the setup is, the more likely you are to be successful. In trading, we're always trading probabilities. And so, there's a chance, even if you wait for that A++ setup, that you're going to take a losing trade. And that's fine. Being a good loser is like the hardest part about trading. Everybody's good at winning. Being good at losing is really hard. And it's twofold with trading. Like, people hate to be wrong. And in trading, when you're wrong, not only are you wrong, but you're losing money, which is another thing people hate. Losing money and being wrong, you combine the two, it's a very difficult pill to swallow. And so taking that one trade a day, it really forces you to swallow that pill and walk away, and not try to FOMO into another trade or whatever, trying to make that money back and come back the next day, hopefully with a fresh slate and start over. And those are the things that really made a difference for me as far as trading. And then I talked about this yesterday as well. I'm always a student. I study trading pretty much daily. I watch charts. The more time you can get screen time watching, like a specific, like I trade NQ. I only watch NQ. I don't watch anything else. NQ moves pretty wild, but I'm pretty good at knowing where those wild moves are going to happen. Whereas most people, they watch NQ and they're like, whoa, like NQ's on crack. And it is on crack. But apparently I am too, because I've been watching NQ long enough that I have a pretty good idea of what it's going to do. So just the more screen time that you can get, the better. That's going to help with your confidence as well. Let's see what else. How do I set my session volume profile? There's so session volume profile is only used for the current day or for the previous day. So every time you chart your session volume profile, it's going to be on the 30-minute time frame. And every day you move forward your levels. Like so. And that's it. And then the settings are value area volume 68, row size 100. And the reason you do it on 30 minutes is that's where it's mostly respected. And if you move to a different time frame, these levels tend to move. So like the POC shifted up. My high and low is the same. But if I go to like 5 minutes, you can see my high shifted way down and my low shifted way down as well. So you draw them on 30 minutes, row size 68 row size 100, value area 68. I will say, I talked about this yesterday, and I'll talk about it until I'm blue in the face. Again, I have nothing to prove to you guys. And so when I say this, hopefully people like really understand that this is like from my heart. I have 3 books listed in the description. One is called Volume Profile by Trader Dale. And that's what we're talking about here is the session volume profile. There's a lot of different volume profile indicators. All of them are good for different things. I'm not going to cover all of them right now. It's just way too much information. And all of them are looked at on different time frames. I'm going to answer everybody's questions, by the way. A lot of people are asking a lot of stuff, and I'll answer you guys. But the that book by Trader Dale, Volume Profile, very, very good book. Read it. Then there's a book by Anna Cooling called Volume Price Analysis. Very good book. Read it. And then there's a book called Trading in the Zone, which is all about confidence and trusting your trades, basically. Very good book. Read it. If you read those 3 books, shoot me a DM, and I will do a free one-on-one with you. And those one-on-ones generally last 2 to 3 hours. And I could easily like sell that time for, like $1,000 or something. So I do that out of the kindness of my heart. I don't ask for anything in return. I would highly recommend that you read those 3 books and reach out to me. Let's see what else. I know there's a lot of questions. So, Joseph, answering your question was that entire spiel. Read those 3 books. Those 3 books. So my mentor is a market maker. And so what he teaches is how to trade based on things that the market makers can't hide from us. And so all 3 of those books basically are in line with that, teaching things that market makers can't hide from us. MACD, RSI, all that stuff, moving averages, those are all lagging indicators that market makers are very aware of, and they will use those levels specifically to grab retail's liquidity and stop them out, and then they'll make the move that they were looking to move. So not a great way of trading. It does work. You can be profitable using those things, but it's just not the best. And so all of that stuff, again, that I talked about, journaling, 1 trade a day, looking at the charts the day before for the next trading day, figuring out your entries, short, long, whatever, blah, 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 calls, puts, and then studying, reading those 3 books. And then after, whenever I do like a one-on-one with people, I give them more stuff to study afterwards because there's more to that. And if people want to just know the information, the things that I would study is volume, which again, that book I told you, Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling, Volume Profile by Trader Dale, Wyckoff 2.0, Footprints, TPO, Order Flow, Market Profile. Those are the things that you really, again, people might want to learn other stuff, moving averages or whatever, but those things that I mentioned are all things that the market makers cannot hide from us, and that's what I would focus my energy on learning. But that's me. Oh, you're asking, like, do I make them wider in the settings? I don't think I do. I might. I don't remember. Where do you see that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that it's... Because on futures, you have such a huge... like if I go to 5 minutes, my developing is massive by the end of the day, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's why I put mine to 140%. So, David Lee, I feel like I just answered your question. Learn volume profile, order flow, TPO, footprints, market profile, and then that's what I use. I don't know if I mentioned TPO, but TPO, and that's what I use to find my levels when I'm looking at the chart. David Lee, what you're saying about a lot of people is I would check those people's pedigree. Are they profitable? Probably not. And I'm not, trying to take a jab at anybody. With the internet and trading, things have become pretty crazy. there's a lot of people now that talk like they're these amazing professional traders, and apparently they never lose because all I ever see them do is share wins, which is just unrealistic. Anytime you talk with like a real like pro trader, they're going to be comfortable talking about their losses just like they are talking about their wins. And I have no way of proving like that this is a real account, but I can't be any more revealed than this. Like I just can't. Um, this I shared every single one of these screenshots today with the group that I trade with. This is what's been hurting my confidence. So like you could see on Monday I was down. I guess it's not showing me the exact amount, but we'll say roughly $1,200, just to close up 370, right? Friday I was down 5 grand to close up $540. Tuesday I took a loss, $1,300. Monday started red, right? Went green, went red again, went green again. Made $390. Friday started red, made $315. Thursday, wow, one trade, one win, $400 roughly. Same thing, Wednesday, started red, down 2 grand, made $375. Tuesday, green, red, green, like $405. Monday, 350, boom, one trade. Friday, red 4K, closed for 1,095. Wednesday, 1,040, two trades, two wins. Tuesday, what an ugly day. Red, looks like the low was 1,000. Up, I don't know how much, I can't really tell. Back to red, back to green, made 1,110. Monday, 99.5. One trade in and out. Friday, May 31st, green to almost red, back to green, 655. One trade, 1,160. One trade, green 370. So when you talk with a trader that can actually show you, and you can see like this day where I took a red trade, here, I actually took time off. I think Wednesday was Juneteenth, and for most people the market's closed. Futures are open for the first few. I think it's the first 4 hours of like the New York Stock Exchange. I'm not positive on that, but it's open for a few hours in the morning where I would normally trade it. But I was like, I'm going to take a day off and recover from this and try to come back tomorrow with a better headspace. And then Thursday, I don't remember what happened, but I wasn't really feeling it. So I decided not to trade. And then I ended up trading on Friday. And as you can see, it was still just another rough day. So again, if you're talking with somebody and they're telling you like use this and that, blah, 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 unless they're also talking about their losing trades, they're probably not worth listening to. That's just my perspective. I could be wrong. They could be the best trader in the world. But really, generally, when people don't talk about their losses, they're generally not profitable because they're not being realistic. And they're just trying to show people win after win after win after win. David Lee, I can't tell you who to listen to or what to listen to. But when you have a market maker telling you study this, that's probably what you should focus on studying. And then you have some random person, again, I don't know, on the internet saying EMAs or whatever else, highs, lows, blah, 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 30-minute, 1 hour, 5-minute. I would listen to the market maker. But again, I can't tell you, Marie, I'm not shorty, by the way. My name's Drew, Catching Rockets. Shorty's my mentor. He's the one that has like a accent. He does teach quite a bit on my channel, but today it's me, Catching Rockets. But anyway, thank you for the birthday wishes. So anyway, yeah, I can't tell you who to listen to, but I would listen to the market maker. Zach, futures for somebody who has a small account under 1K? Yes, I would. What I would do, and this is a completely different conversation I'm not going to get into right now, is I would just use a prop firm. And with the prop firm, basically get your withdrawals and use that money to fund your own cash account. So we don't talk about this a whole lot, but the sorry, I just read a message and I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? So like one of the people in Shorty's Discord, or a lot of them, like withdraw a lot of money from prop firms every single couple of weeks. Recently, one person, he got the biggest payout ever from Apex Trader Funding, which was like $1.4 million. And he was a student of, I mean, I'm not sure that he learned anything from me, but I would guess a student of me and definitely a student of Shorty's. And so that's what I would recommend. You can get like Apex Trader Funding right now. I'll post a link. This is going to be my affiliate link. You don't have to use my affiliate link if you want to go to their website without the affiliate link. It's apextraderfunding.com. But if you want to use it, this is my affiliate link. And then this code here will give you 80% off of any account. So you can get like a 50K account, eval account for like, I think $36 right now. So, and it's legit. I can show, I can show some payouts. Where is... So this is right now. I just took these 2,000 and 3,000 and they're pending. And then 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. I have more, but I just screenshotted the most recent ones. And then you can see paid, 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 paid. So it is legit. They do pay. So, Zach, with that said, with $1,000, you can definitely start an account. There's different brokers. If you trade on a PC desktop, not a Mac, I would recommend going with AMP, because they give you anything. If you get a deposit over $100, they give you all of the indicators on Quantower for free, which normally would cost $70 a month. And so that's how I would go. If you're trading on a Mac or a phone or a tablet, I would look into Tradeovate. And the same thing would apply if you're going with a prop firm, so like Apex Trader Funding. You have two options when you sign up with them. You can either buy a Tradeovate account, which would be for Macs, phones, or tablets. And if you're trading on a desktop PC or a laptop, I would go with the Rhythmic account, and I would use Quantower as your trading platform. So, but with your $1,000, you could easily do a deposit with AMP, and then use Quantower, and their what's it called? Sorry, train of thought again. AMP with Quantower, and you'll get all of the indicators for free, which is amazing value. And then you just start trading small. Like you should you be using proper risk management with your trading. And that's all doable with futures. You just trade the micros instead of the minis. And, with $1,000, you want to risk 1 to 3% when you start out. And you want to double that profit-wise. So if you're risking 3%, you want to make 6%. If you're risking 2%, you want to make 4% on every trade, kind of thing. So that's how you would do it. And it is doable. You just have to grind in the beginning to build up your account. And then you can start taking bigger trades. But the prop firms, they just give you more leverage to get some cash outs, and then you can use that money to fund your own cash account. I'm trying to think what else. I don't remember the exact video, but if you look back, I want to say like 3 to 6 lives ago, as far as the options videos that I've done, on one of them, it's going to be whatever one is longest. It was a really long video. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Oh, this doesn't tell me the length of the video. Oh, it does. I would be willing to bet that it's going to be this video here. Wait, don't want to bring that up on the screen.
I make a lot of my income right here. This is one of my favorite spots in my house. I have also mentored many beginner trading students.
This is not the one where I talk about futures. Hang on. It might be this one. I've narrowed it down. It's one of 2 videos, and I'll just share it with you because this will answer a lot of questions you might have about trading futures. Hey, for example, I go long at the previous day value area high. Yeah. So this, and then you get to listen to my dog squeaky toy, which is the best. You're subject to requirements for a payout. They'll pay you cash, but on PLTR. Where is it? Dude, my dog squeaky toy is like the best thing
18
ever.
Contracts, I think.
Sorry, I'm reopening this Excel. I would 6 wins, 6 losses. Google is the mini. ESM is the about this. So like, most people 1 to 3%
So
of
it's
your
right
entire
about here.
portfolio on any one trade. So this link here will answer a lot of your questions about trading futures. Okay. I covered it pretty in depth at the end of that video. So let's see what other questions we have. Zach, what I normally write in journals, the key to journaling is you really have to look within yourself and sit down and be like, was my entry good? Did I enter early? Did I enter late? Did I enter at the level that I planned on entering at? Did I close early? Did I close late? Did I trail my stop loss? Like all of those things. So as a trader, we shouldn't be trailing our stop loss. Like we should have the level that we're looking to enter the trade. So for example, this was the level here where I was bearish is below the 2-day value area low. So like if I was looking to short here, I have to figure out where my stop loss is. And then my profit target, I have to be able to make at least $2 for every dollar that I risk. Once I define these levels, my stop loss shouldn't get moved. Either my take profit gets hit or my stop loss gets hit. What happens is if I start trailing my stop loss, a lot of times price will pull back, hit my stop loss, and then go to my take profit. But what will never happen is when I'm red on the trade, it's 100% of the time going to hit the full stop loss. It's never going to be lower because I'm not moving my stop loss down when I'm red. So every time my stop loss will get hit 100% of the time, And very rarely will my take profit get hit if I'm moving my stop loss down as price moves. So you're shooting yourself in the foot as a trader. Like, you have to define your entry, your stop loss, your take profit, and then your journaling if you followed your plan. So every trade should be planned out and should have levels. And if you're cutting it early, you need to journal that. And one of the things that I tell people is if you have an issue with trailing your stop loss, make 2 journals. One journal what actually happened, like you close the position early. And on the second journal what would have happened if you followed either your take profit or stop loss. And I think you'll find that at the end, after like a month, the journal where you only respected stop loss and take profit will be way more profitable than the journal where you keep moving your stop loss. Okay? So hopefully that gives you an idea of what to journal about, but you just have to really reflect what you did correctly, what you did wrong, and what you could have done better. And you want to journal those things, and then whatever you did wrong, you want to try to stop doing. What you did correctly, you want to keep doing, and what you could have done better, you want to implement into your trading. Okay? Whoa. Yes, Joseph, the one trade a day gives you a lot of patience, focus, and discipline. And that's everything that you need to be a good trader. Okay, send it. Yeah, I see that. No worry, Joseph. It's really just not a big deal. Just in case you guys don't know, like, I'm accessible. You guys can DM me. If you have questions, you can DM me. I would way prefer to talk about it here, like live, where other people are going to have the same question, but they're not asking. So that way they're getting the answers as well. But I have no problem like talking to people through DMs or whatever else. So. Yeah, William, that's a lot of people do boom and doom. So. Yeah, why not? So then you need to make sure you have a profit target and that you're closing at that level. I mean, that's just it. There's no in between. The time frame doesn't really matter, send it. I could enter on any time. I use 5 minute just because I'm able to see the levels more clearly. But I could enter on 1 minute. It wouldn't change anything. My level is still going to be the same level. Hopefully that makes sense. You know, like I find my levels on higher time frames, mostly on 30 minute. But I also find levels on 1 hour. I find levels on the daily candles. Like I find levels on all different time frames. It's just easier to see when a level is getting touched on a lower time frame. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I'm generally, when I'm entering trades, it's generally on the 5 minute chart. But it doesn't really matter. My levels are going to be the same no matter what time frame I'm on. Okay? Exactly. Plan is the plan. Doesn't matter what time frame you're on. As long as you have a plan. You know, so like a lot of people talk about like, oh, anything over 4 hours would be a swing trade. Anything under 4 hours is a day trade. And that's true. But again, I find levels on all different time frames. And I trade them on the lower time frames. So, and I'm not a swing trader. I am probably more day trader / scalper. So I generally look for like 10 to 20 point moves on NQ. Sometimes if I see a setup where I'll get, 40, 50, 60 points, of course I'm going to take it. But most of my trades are going to be between 10 to 20 points on NQ, which happens very quickly. NQ can move 20 points in a second. So a lot of fun to trade because it's literally like crack. Anyway, I'm going to dip out and go and have dinner with my family and enjoy the rest of my birthday. Hopefully the video is helpful. I hope you guys make some... yeah, Lucas, it's pretty sick. Anyway, hopefully you guys make a lot of money tomorrow. If you're doing decent trading options, consider trading futures. There's everything about futures is better. Even taxes are cheaper. Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate that. Thank you, Send It. Thank you, Why Not? Thank you, Stocks with Hope. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for Christopher. Thank you, Heather. And thank you, Alan. Anyway, I'm going to cut out. You guys have a good rest of your evening. And then hopefully you guys crush it tomorrow and make a lot of money. Thank you, Zach. Love and appreciate you all. Whether or not you believe that or not doesn't matter, but it's the truth. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here doing this. Anyway, much love, respect. Peace out. We'll see you on the next one, okay?